I was getting crammed in the back by both of these guys.
What's the alternative? Just not going?
Telling the truth. For our listeners, they're sexually assaulting me.
Honestly, Nick Faldo, just shut up, mate.
Let's thank God for killing your mate's mum, because he did that, didn't he? You're very stiff, aren't you?
So you're saying that God prefers Scotty Scheffler? Oh, we're breaking free. Welcome back to episode 3 of 3 Off the Tee. Has a little ring to it. I'm here with the Gimme Gimme boys. Ollie's decided to dress as the sun today. If you're one of our viewers, and Rob,
Banana yellow, not sun yellow. But
sorry. Let's go very quickly into what's been happening. What have you guys been up to this week? I know it's been a very, very busy week.
very exciting day out for all three of us at LIV Golf's UK event at the JCB. We were invited by Team Majesticks, and we were given sort of a bit of a hospitality experience by the 9th green. Got to watch what real golf looked like.
We did see the opening birdie from team captain Lee Westwood, didn't we? And that was impressive because he started on that hole.
Yeah.
But no, shout out to Majesticks and the team there. We had a great day. I drove up there in a small car that clearly shouldn't fit 3 people, especially one of Rob's size. The little cuck goes in the back.
Brilliant. All right. I mean, it's all factually accurate.
Yeah.
We don't need to hear it, do we?
It took us 7 hours to get back. We were back on the M1 North, even though we're coming south twice.
I'm still traumatized. It was horrendous.
I was getting crammed in the back by both of these guys, and I was also stuck in the back of the car after the cramming.
Have you guys played golf this weekend?
I haven't, but I'd love Olly to talk us through his round of golf.
I don't think I need to. I think I'm getting golf fatigue. Yesterday, it was a shocker. It was a horror show. I shot 98. Haven't shot 98 for a year and a half or something.
As in he hasn't broken 100 for a year and a half.
You played really well. You had a great day.
Brilliant. 3 off the tee on the first hole, and I was lucky. I actually had to reload twice, but my second ball took a lucky bounce off a tree into fairway. And I knew from that point on that, I was destined for really bad things.
God, it's been a busy week.
It has.
Yeah, we had a golf day on Thursday. It was the 3 of us paired with Amy T of Silver Tea fame, actually, our sister podcast. Yeah, we had a lovely day, but it was slow going. I was actually scoring really well, but topping everything off the tee because it was so hard.
We skipped 2 holes because of how slow it was.
Yeah.
And we had a bit of gap in front of us because we were filming an amazing piece of content that I won't allude to yet, but we will talk about next week. It is going to be very good. However, Rob wouldn't let us skip holes because he was scoring well. And if anybody knows scoring well, it means you're playing shit. I've seen him top 40% of his shots, one of which was off the tee on a par 3 at Perford Lakes, second hole. It's bounced just over the water, just in front of the tee box. And because of the concrete that is the fairway and the rough, it's rolled up onto the green. And he was in contention for closest to the pin.
I genuinely think it had maybe less than a 3-yard carry.
You have to play the course on the day as it's playing. Actually, Ollie said at the start, I think on my EG this, I was like, mate, we've got a mulligan on each.
That's called the Mulligan Open. Yeah. You can't put your handicap in on the Mulligan Open. You can.
Oh, I can.
So, Kieran, on Sunday, you spent your Sunday doing something quite unusual. What were you up to?
Over the last few weeks, I've been to the Open, got a bit too drunk, ate a load of gyros, so had a really great diet, and then I did the T100 yesterday, which is basically a half Ironman, and I didn't do any training.
Some would say unadvisable.
I won't be playing golf this week based off the fact that I can't walk, so it's a good job I'm in this chair.
He did actually drop his keys on the way into the studio here, and it was hilarious. It took him about 10 minutes to pick them up.
I can't bend, which is my own doing, but it does impact my golf. Maybe in a good way. We'll see.
But I think we can do it. Real for tea. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's an achievement, mate. Well,
mate.
cheers. Do you want to tell people where you finished?
No. Let's go into the world of golf, and quite a lot has happened over the last few days. Do you want to kick us off?
It has been a mental weekend for the world of golf. Jackson Coyven, I think he won in his 30th PGA Tour event, which is quicker than Tiger Woods, quicker than Phil Mickelson, 152 events quicker than Tommy Fleetwood. He's being touted as a serious talent. And did he shoot? No, I think Anthony Kim shot 59. And then Lucas Herbert won the LIV event at 30 under par.
Over 4 events, 30 under par.
And that's where we were. We were at the LIV event, and that course doesn't look easy.
with the technology and the ability that people have got and the science and everything, it's now at a point where the pros are just so good that courses can't manage.
Well, also, it means that Tyrrell Hatton shot 24 under par, so he's averaged 6 under.
They was nowhere near it. That is pathetic.
But do you prefer watching people stick it close and get birdies more often, or are you wanting to see these guys struggle?
I quite like that it varies week to week. Like some tournaments, like the Open, for example, I mean, obviously they ended up scoring pretty well at the Open, but as a general rule, US Open, Masters, PGA, they tend to tear up a little bit more. But like those huge, really difficult courses where they're fighting tooth and nail to just keep it below par, and then you get tournaments like this weekend where they can it makes you realise, just how good they are. I don't want to go off on one about it, but Nick Faldo constantly bangs on about how easy golf is these days. Yeah. Honestly, Nick Faldo, just shut up, mate. We get it. You won a bunch of majors. You're really good golf. He literally has almost every time he talks.
It is
has to remind you how good he was.
Here's one. Nick Faldo, I want you to narrate or commentate on a LIV Golf tournament. I think it would be hilarious to just listen to the hate watch that would come from it.
He'd be fuming.
He is fuming. Like, if you see any of his review of Bryson playing in any competition outside of LIV, it almost takes away from the actual event because it's such a hate watch.
He absolutely despises Bryson. It's what meant. Did you see he was like, he has zero course management, and then Bryson, his interview, was like, I thought the course management was pretty good today out there.
I would love to see a 1v1 Prime Faldo against Prime Bryson.
Could we give Nick Faldo the current kit?
Yeah, Nick Faldo gets current kit, which I think
he wouldn't know how to use it though.
He wouldn't. I mean, he wouldn't know how to use a 7-iron, would he? Because he's never had one. Idiot. Of course he would. Of course he'd know how to use. I think
he was hitting like wooden drivers.
Yeah, but that's even more impressive.
Mate, yeah, but he might just struggle with like a new driver though.
Nick Faldo has kept us playing golf. He didn't just.
He's probably relatively regularly.
Yeah, but we're transporting back to prime like late 80s Faldo.
I think we would be very disrespectful to Nick Faldo if we said that he wouldn't wipe the floor with Bryson DeChambeau. But I do think that he was so good. Yeah. And that sort of qualifies him to have the opinion that he does and the harshness of opinion. I just think that he's being too opinionated.
I think he's well within his rights to be as opinionated as he likes about anyone he wants to, because he's qualified it. But what annoys me about Faldo is we know your record. We know how good you were. You don't need to remind me. You're amazing. We all admire and respect you. You're probably the greatest English golfer we've ever had. Stop reminding us.
If we can get Sir Nick Faldo to comment on this clip.
Sir Nick Faldo, would you beat Bryson DeChambeau in your prime with the current gear? That's a question for you to answer and only you to answer. So if anybody else comments on that post, we don't want to hear it.
Tag him. He probably doesn't have Instagram. He's probably still on a manuscript, but...
Yeah, I think that's the world of golf.
Yeah, that is the world of golf.
Anything else that we've got?
No, nothing else to discuss. But what I did want to just add on, because you touched on it earlier, is that Scheffler came second. Scheffler is always there or there.
He's always top 10, isn't he?
Always.
Apart from 3 weeks ago when he missed the cut.
He didn't. Oh,
yeah, but that was major news. I think that's testament to how consistent he is. Yeah. It's like, it was unbelievable news when he missed the cut. Whereas Bryson misses cuts all the time, and it's just irrelevant.
Yeah, but I'm not comparing Bryson to Scheffler. Going back to like the impressiveness of Tiger, like I think it's something stupid. Like Scotty Scheffler would have to be world number one for another 5 years in a row, maybe even longer, to even get close to Tiger Woods's
and crash a few cars.
The consistency with which the American boys that are religious, like your Cam Youngs, your Scotty Schefflers, your Sam Burns, they're super consistent, and I think they have probably a sense of like, whatever's happening, I'm on the right path, it's the right journey, this is God's plan for me, which must be so reassuring when you're letting go.
I just like they're winning millions of pounds every week, regardless of whether they win the tournament. I would be like, what? Well, this is the path I've been given.
Yeah, God doesn't care about Scotty Scheffler's round at Pebble Beach. He's too busy creating orphans in Africa.
So you're saying God just wants orphans for all of
I've actually had this debate. I've had this debate before. I hate it when athletes thank God for a good performance. I hate it because I'm like, what do you think that God's sitting up there and he's like, I'm actually a Scotty Scheffler fan. God loves everyone equally, right? But he's just decided to absolutely fuck Sam Burns over by giving him a triple bogey on the last.
So you're saying that God prefers Scotty Scheffler.
Where was God yesterday when you shot 98?
Yeah. Sticking my balls in the trees. That's where he was. And he wasn't finding them either. I'm going to be the face of atheism in golf now.
That pretty much sums up the world of golf this week. A big old week. Let's move on to confessions from the woods. This week we have some good ones. What's the first confession?
If you send in a confession and you specifically want us to name you, then let us know, but this person didn't.
And you can send them to us by following us on @3OffTheTeePod on Instagram. If people send voice recordings of a confession,
We can play the voice
we can
recorder.
play them.
Yeah.
That would be class.
That would be really good. Ideally, send them to Kieran. So, I'm a 22 handicapper. I was at a charity golf day recently in memory of a friend's mum. My group was in the running to win it, and we'd already won the longest drive and closest to the pin. We came to the 17th, and I went into a bunker on the left of the green. This is in capitals, I'm terrible out of bunkers. When I was lining up my shots, I brushed the sand with my wedge.
How'd you agree? Mum was watching.
I didn't say I'd done it, as I didn't think the bunker shot would be any good anyway. I then chipped to about 1 foot. The group went wild. We only needed 2 pars up the last from the 4 of us to win the whole thing. In the excitement, I couldn't bring myself to mention anything. We ended up winning on the day, an expensive bottle of champagne each and a round of golf at Woodall Spa. Lovely track. And I've been feeling guilty about it ever since. Shall I come clean or just let my friends have the excitement of that day?
Can I just say, number one, I did not expect after week 3 of this podcast to get people confessing to things like that. That is class. So thanks Anonymous, whoever that was, for your confession, and we'll see you at Woodall Spa.
This didn't affect the charity receiving the money.
It's a bit like when you double down on a white lie, right? And then suddenly it's like, oh, this wasn't even a big deal. And now it's kind of become a big thing. People must know that feeling. And then you suddenly think, oh, for goodness sake, I'm in over my head here.
If he's brushed the sand, obviously that's a 1-shot penalty. Is it 1 or 2? It's a 1-shot penalty. Either or.
Shit rule, by the way.
It's a terrible rule.
Why can I touch the ground anywhere else than if I'm in the sand?
You can't. If I'm in the fairway and it's a yellow
lining up my shot.
fine. You're in the middle of the fairway.
Yeah.
If you go into a yellow staked hazard, you're in a hazard and therefore you cannot touch the...
Yeah, but a bunker's not a yellow stake. That's a hazard.
If you've got a ball that's landed in the bunker and say it's like got caught in a little bit of a hole in that bunker and therefore you move some of the sand behind the ball, you're going to get cleaner contact. Point is, it's not as if this guy is clearly bad out of bunkers. He still managed to hit a bunker shot within a foot. He hasn't really made himself a better player. He hasn't become a better player.
It's like if he had already duffed one bunker shot and no one had seen, I think that's different to him brushing the sand.
Like, if it's PGA Tour golf, I get it. If you're just paying at a charity thing, raising money for your mate's mum, and like a little thing like that happens, and you weren't deliberately trying to like cheat your way through the game, then, you know, you didn't mean it. I'm here to tell you that you probably should have said something originally, but now you haven't. It's not a big enough deal to raise again.
The statistics say that an average golfer will make probably 3 or 4 rule infractions during their round. So although your friend's mum will be looking down and will be disappointed that the bottle of champagne went to the wrong person, you can probably sleep a little easier knowing that you were there for a good reason to remember somebody.
If the money that was raised went to the charity it was intended, who cares? I'm saying on a charity golf day to remember someone's recently deceased mum, if someone brushes the sand in a bunker, doesn't matter.
What I hope they did was get to like the raffle at the end and just buy a couple more tickets to sort of offset that gift.
Yeah.
Does it?
Yeah, that's it.
Thanks for sending that one in. That's very brave of you to admit.
Yeah. Right, the next one's quite, I think it's a good one because a lot of people will reason with it. This is from somebody who, for obvious reasons, will like to stay anonymous. And they said, sometimes I tell my wife that I'm going to work, but I have a spare change of golf clothes in the van and I play 9 holes instead. It's a very simple confession, but I think as a bloke, I understand. I do think if you're taking time to do something that you love, your wife would be happy.
I do just think the question that comes up, though, is why are you having to lie about it? Like, you just said, if you're doing something that you love, your wife will be fine with it. Well, then tell her.
I think it's probably off the back of maybe somebody saying, you don't spend enough time with me, or you're always out.
If you say it's work, it legitimizes
If you say it's work, it's like, oh, well, they've got to go.
It would be fairly easy for them to find out that you're not actually at work. And then they're like, well, you've lied about this. What else have you lied about? And you're like, loads.
I think the question rather is that is she annoyed that you're playing too much golf? Because I think that there's a stereotype that has and is around that you can't just go out with the lads to play golf every weekend because you've got other responsibilities.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably where this is coming from.
This is clearly potentially raising a much bigger challenge in their relationship, which is like, okay, if the balance isn't quite right for one of you, you need to talk about it and work out a way in which you both feel like you get enough time to do things you want to do, and you're also there for each other and support each other. Are there kids? That's what I want to know.
Can I also say that's a mad good piece of advice on a podcast. Just take life too seriously.
Get you a podcast that can do it all.
Yeah. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how I'm making my marriage last just over a year so far.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
To my wife.
Cheers to your wife.
My sister caught my brother-in-law out on something incredibly similar. He said he was going to be late at work, and he obviously forgot that she has him on Find My Friends. And she looked on Find My Friends, and he was at the driving range. He got back, and she was like, "Where were you?" And he was like, "Yeah, work was just mental." And she was like, "You were at the driving range, I saw on Find My Friends." And he was like, "Oh yeah, I did actually pop in on the way back and just hit a few quick." But my sister, luckily for him, is like very chilled. And she actually just kind of laughed it off, which I think is amazing.
Yeah. Your sister is amazing.
She is amazing.
Really great.
Amazing.
Thank God she doesn't listen to this.
She will.
I'm going to send it to her. What that raises for me is actually a wider point in that Find My Friends is, it's so difficult because actually we shouldn't really all have each other on Find My Friends.
Yeah, when was that a thing?
As blokes and women should be allowed to go, do you know what? I want to go and do this for a bit and I don't want anyone to know I'm doing it. I just want to have my own time doing this thing, whatever it may be.
It is quite intrusive, isn't it?
But it
really intrusive.
I want to know where you are at all times.
I actually recently had this where my girlfriend asked me to add her on Find My Friends. She gave me the option of her also having me on Find My Friends. And I haven't opted in. I haven't opted into the marketing box.
I think it's fine just because, like, for example...
Not because I want to hide anything. She's listening and my God, I just don't want to see... I don't want her to see me at the flower shop all the time buying her flowers. Yeah. She's going to be like, he's at the flower shop again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sick of all these flowers.
If she had my location and Find My Friends when I'm playing golf, she'd be like, why are you in the deep rough again? Why are you deep in the woods again?
It's because that's also the way you go proggy.
Oh no, that's where I meet my mistress.
No,
at the golf club.
You're Mr.
Let us know where you stand on having your significant other on Find My Friends. I think it's genuinely very interesting. So that takes us swiftly on to the next section, which is Course Court. Order! Court is now in session. The topic this week is, should handicap systems be abandoned for any competition? So I would like to invite Mr. Gonz to present his thoughts on this matter.
Your Honour, if I may, you look good with hair.
You will get no bonus for flattery in this court. This is an uncorruptible judge. You will address me with respect.
Well, then I think you look awful with hair.
You can lose by insulting me.
My argument is that as a golfer of a 2 handicap, how on earth can I go home after beating everybody to having the least amount of shots of all the people that are playing and still lose and be laughed at for losing? So my problem isn't necessarily just losing because you're playing against people. It's people celebrating being worse at something. There is no sport on this planet where you can be worse than somebody at a sport and still win. There isn't. And I get that's the joy of golf, but keep that to friendlies. It's the reason why we can play as a friendly. But me and Rob have a golf competition in a few weeks where the loser's going to shave their head. That's going to be a handicap competition. And I'm worried for my hair, just like you are day to day. I'm worried for my hair because he's got shots on me. And now I could play better golf, but he could win and I could lose my hair because he's worse. Very rarely do you come in and see a competition on stable for points and the winner doesn't get 46 points, 10 under the handicap they said they had. And I just think that at that point, golf would be a better sport competitively in clubs around the world if handicaps weren't a factor in competitive golf.
Thank you, Mr. Gonz. I would like to invite Mr. Robert Eads to provide his counter.
I would like to retort it with the obvious fact that golf is a unique sport. And for someone to compete with someone who's played golf for longer or has a more natural gift for the sport, they've had to introduce a handicap system, which, if followed properly, makes it a fair competition. And actually, most competitions have a medal element, which is just simply gross. And they also have a net element, which is making a competition fun and interesting for anyone that isn't the best golfer out there on the day. And the reverse of your argument, actually, I think, is if someone plays off +4 and has a terrible round of golf and shoots 2 over for them, and I'm playing off 12 and I have a really good round of golf and shoot 8 over, I'd lose. So what's the point of being there?
I do actually think that is exactly my point, is that you're going to go home after shooting 12 over par, and somebody who shot 2 over par, who's played significantly better at the sport than you, will go home losing. It should never be a thing. You've said, I want to be able to compete with somebody who is naturally more gifted at a sport than I am.
But that's why they have Stableford competitions and they have medal competitions.
Yeah, but the Stableford, we know, and everyone here knows, that if you're entering a Stableford competition, a bandit will always win.
The problem is not the handicap system. The problem is people being dishonest.
If I might offer a question to hear both of your opinion on, do we think in a Stableford competition, perhaps it would be wise to introduce some sort of upper cap on the amount of Stableford points someone can attain?
Stableford only exists because of handicap, right? If you get rid of handicaps in competitions, you don't have a Stableford competition. For me, I struggle with the celebration of people being worse at the sport and celebrating it like they're better.
Okay, I would like to invite both gentlemen to summarise in one quick line, if you can, your closing arguments, and I shall deliberate and provide judgment.
My closing statement is golf is the only sport in the world where somebody who is worse at the sport can beat someone who is better at the sport and celebrate it as though they are the better person and player. And that should never be allowed in our beautiful game.
I would argue that in order to increase participation as widely as possible, which I think is, as a general rule, what we want for the sport, there has to be a system by which someone can still compete and enjoy that competition outside of just being a better golfer that's going to score better.
Thank you, gentlemen. I want to congratulate you both on providing phenomenal cases.
For me, this is an incredibly difficult one because
I see both sides. There is no other sport in which someone is given a handicap from the beginning. But your statement where you said, name another sport where someone who is worse can win, I would actually say that's not true. And I would love to look at the recent Football World Cup where huge upsets were coming from teams, particularly Cape Verde. They, I believe, took Argentina, the eventual finalists, to extra time. But I hear what you're saying, that this is the only sport in which a system is constructed for someone who is worse to beat someone who is better. I personally have played golf for a lot less time than either of you two. Therefore, it's unrealistic for me to expect to have as good fundamentals, but it would be nice to create a format in which we can still have a fair game. I believe that Mr. Gonz is correct in the sense of the professional game. There is no handicap system. The best man wins always. And I agree with Mr. Eads in the amateur game, which we all play, whereby people are of different ability groups, different amounts of experience, and the only way to create a fair match is to have a handicap system. So very marginally, I'm going to rule in favour of Mr. Eads. The case is now closed, and that concludes our course court.
So I've rejoined the pod. I was annoyed with that verdict, but judges rule. You will notice that
Judges rule.
You will notice that Olly is missing, and that's because we have to have the inaugural crowning of our weekly fantasy golf league. As we alluded to a few weeks ago, we are now presenting the winner of each week and who is leading our championship with the green jacket. They will adorn this throughout the podcast the next week in typical Masters fashion. We'll present the green jacket in a weird room that's a bit silent, that has no atmosphere, and just a bit strange altogether.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to take this moment to introduce the 2026 Masters champion, Mr. Olly.
Thanks, guys. Thank you very much. It's an honour. Thank you. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. They're, for our listeners, they're sexually assaulting me. And the green jacket on. Oh my god, those are real slaps. Those are not sound effects. What the hell? Right. They don't do that to Rory, do they? Right, so as always, we go back into our fantasy league. We're going to review what we did last week. As always, ChatGPT gives us each a golfer that we need to follow for the upcoming tournament. I was given Cam Young. You were given
David Puig.
And obviously,
You actually weren't given Cam Young, you were given Cam Smith.
oh yeah, I was given Cam Smith.
You do, yeah.
And Ollie was given Bryson DeChambeau.
Let's go, Bryson.
So if we have a look at the standings, Bryson came second.
Mm-hmm. No, he didn't. He came third.
Did he?
Yeah, Tyrrell Hatton came second.
Bryson came third.
Yeah.
So that gives Ollie 3 points.
Bryson, where's Bryson?
You get 5 points for it. You go.
Hits the ball a mile.
We'll go again.
The ball's so far, very far. You see him hit it. He's hitting it very far. He's a great golf. Every time he hits it, it goes a long way.
Gonz hasn't got a clue.
I can't.
He's a useless host. Quite frankly, I don't know how they hired him.
Yeah. He's a loser.
Gonz golfing's the worst channel in golf.
The worst that there's ever been in golf.
Yeah, he's an atrocious host. Come on, get on with it.
Right, so for coming last this week, Rob gets 0 points.
What? You should get loads of points for coming last.
I then with Cam Smith came second, but Cam came fourth. And in third place, so winning this week, is Bryson DeChambeau and Ollie. So Ollie gets 5 points, moving his total to 10 because he's won both weeks. Yeah, Rob gets 0, so his points stay at 3. And because my player last week didn't make the cut, and this week I came second, I now go to 0, level par. And then to follow off the back of that, of things that had not gone too well, for the second week in a row, our bet builder didn't come in. So I had Bryson DeChambeau to win.
I had Tyrrell Hatton top 5, who came second. You're welcome.
And I did David Puig to make the cut, didn't I? No, to finish top 10.
And he finished just outside the top 10. So to be fair, you were right. So we had one of the 3. He was third, so I was pretty close. And he was tied 12. So
You're very close on 3 legs of an accumulator means £0.
Yeah. £0. Actually, it's negative. It's negative £15 because we
did put money on the stake.
And this week's predictions are going to be a different one where we're actually going into the Women's Open.
So Kieran gets Lydia Ko.
Get in.
Ollie gets home favourite Charlie Half.
Is she a home favourite? Yeah. I saw a video the other day where she had a birdie putt and made a 9.
Yeah.
And I get one of the favourites, Gino Thitico. Okay. Lydia Ko, 33 to 1. Oh, she's nothing to wear. Charlie Hull, 20 to 1.
Okay.
Gino Thitico, 14 to 1.
So as always, we're going to do a build a bet as well, and still yet to be sponsored this bit. So if there is any betting companies out there that wants to sponsor this section, that'd be great. I'll start. I'm not sure if you guys have seen Lottie Woad, but she's a new phenomena in the women's game. I think she will finish inside the top 30, which I think would be an incredible finish for her.
I have heard a lot about Mimi Rhodes recently.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say that she makes a top 10 finish. Oof.
Wow.
Ooh, top 10.
I'm going to add that the winning score for this year's Women's Open will be less than 11 under. Better than 11 under.
That gives us a 14 to 1 odds, which £210 we win
from our £15 stake.
Yeah. So I feel like that's a good
We'll
one.
take it.
Yeah. If we did win that, we'd be 100% up.
£quid each.
Easy work. Thank you. We may as well take that free money. Why not, boys? Congrats on the jacket.
Thank you.
And we'll see you for another episode next week.
Whoa!